In this video, I'm going to be going over the Jura E6 program features. I've been using Jura espresso machines for about 13 years, and I just replaced my F7 with this brand new E6. I've used it several times, kind of got used to it now, so I think I can show you guys the program features, tell you what's great about it. This is a great espresso machine. They run somewhere around $1,200–$1,300. They used to be about $999. But this is November of 2022, so there's been a lot of inflation, and they've gone up about $300 per machine. You can look on Marketplace and pick up a used one for around $600 to $700, which is what I recommend. Maybe get one about a year old. But if you're thinking about a new espresso machine and you've been wondering about the E6, I'm going to go over just the kind of customization program features that let you kind of fine-tune the type of coffee and espresso you want. So by the end of the video, this may be helpful, maybe if you're narrowing down kind of top 5 espresso machines, maybe this has some features you really want or don't want. So let's get started. So once you turn the machine on, this is kind of your home menu, and your program button is right here. You see the P. Some people think that this is a touchscreen, but it's not. You actually have buttons here on the side that correlate with the symbols. So if you're just pushing right here, it's not going to do anything. You need to push this button here to get into program. And now page 1 of 4, you can clean the milk system, descale, and this is kind of a filter regulator. It tells you, like, if this is all the way red, you need to change your filter. So this is pretty much just kind of telling you where your filter status is. So if I go to page 2, I can rinse the coffee system, rinse the milk system. If I hit this information button, it just gives you some maintenance information. So I back up out of there. Now when you automatically turn it on, it rinses the coffee system anyway. So maybe you went through a clean cycle, you might want to do an extra rinse, but that's where you would do that. So if we go on to page 3, this gets you into expert mode. This is where you can do some customization. So if we want to customize our coffee, you can change volume. In volume, here where you can change your coffee volume, you can go from a ½ ounce up to 8 ounces. Now to adjust it, you just hit the button to the left or to the right. And if we back up out of here, we can change our coffee strength. And you can just adjust by the beans. Take it down this way, brings the strength down. Bring it up all the way to the right, brings the strength up. If we back up out of there, we can go to the second page. This is where we can change our coffee temperature. And you got high and normal. There's only 2 settings on the E6. I believe my F7 had 3 settings, but I just leave it on high. It's not super hot, but it's not as hot for some reason as my old F7. So I'm just going to leave that set on high. And we'll back up out of here. And we can change our espresso by pushing that button. And you pretty much have the same thing. Your espresso volume is going to be slightly different. A ½ ounce up to 2½ ounces. Same adjustment, left and right, brings it up and down. Back up out of there, and we also change, even though if you notice, this says coffee strength, it's still under the espresso tab. And same thing, we got full beans, or you just bring it down here to the left, and that's going to decrease your espresso strength. So we can back up out of there. Back up out of there again, and we go to page 2 of expert mode. And this is where you adjust your cappuccino, milk foam, your amount of milk. It's pretty customizable. If we go to page 3, you can adjust your hot water, volume, temperature again. On hot water, you do have a low, normal, and a high. But for some reason you don't have low temperature for a coffee setting. So back up out of there, and you can adjust the volume for hot water. Hot water volume is a 1/2 ounce all the way up to 15 ounces. Same type of adjustment. This is a very easy coffee espresso machine to learn. And I'm going to go to page 4. Now this is where you can choose language, units, switch off after, which is what I really like. You can have it switch off after 30 minutes. I believe it goes all the way down to, yeah, it goes down to 15 minutes and all the way up to like 9 hours. Which I don't know why you'd want it to switch off after 9 hours, but I like mine to switch off after 30 minutes. I usually drink 2 cups of coffee and then it pretty much shuts off by itself. And if you want to save any of your settings, like I said, you just hit save and you get the notification. Last setting I'm going to show you is the water hardness. Now in order to set that, you're going to need some test strips, and then you can adjust what your water hardness is and save it. And that's kind of going to give the machine an accurate reading of how many cups of coffee espresso it can brew before you need to descale your machine. The harder your water, the more often you're going to need to descale. And depending on where you set this, it will come up with a warning, hey, your machine needs to be descaled. So you are going to want to set this whenever you get a new or used machine, and that's going to prolong the life of your Jura equipment. Pretty much the rundown and basic features of the program function of the Jura E6. It is very customizable. There are machines out there that cost $1,000, $2,000 more. That's going to give you more customizability. But for the price range, you can pretty much fine-tune this to exactly the way you want your coffee and espresso. This has been a great machine so far. I'm really happy with it, and I hope this video helps you out with any decisions you make on your next espresso machine.